Kitchener South Hespeler. I'm Valerie Bradford, and I'm so happy to welcome you here today and so glad that you're able to join us. During the past week, we've really seen and felt the momentum building in our campaign, and I'm sure you can feel that energy here today. Our local candidates and Liberal candidates all across this country are working so hard to deliver our victory next Monday. Right? We are so happy to have such a good caliber of candidates running, and we are going to deliver this victory. So over the last, since 2015, when this government was first elected, we've seen a lot of investments here in the Waterloo region, in public transit, in affordable housing, in job creation, and we need to keep that momentum going. The reason that they are investing here is because we are an economic powerhouse. All of those investments are due to the hard work and leadership of the people here on this stage today. For the past 15 years, I have had the honor and privilege of working hand in hand with the business community, bringing jobs and investment here to our region. And I can tell you that this is an economic powerhouse, and we are going to continue that. So that's why I'm running. I want to continue that momentum. Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party have the right vision, the right plan, and the right experience to help us finish this fight against COVID and help us build back stronger than ever. Please join me in welcoming our leader, Justin Trudeau.
Thank you, Valerie. How's everyone doing today? Oh, what a beautiful day. But before I start, I just want to take a moment as a dad, as a leader, as a prime minister, to express my deepest condolences to the Waterloo Region family that just lost their child to COVID. We've all been heartbroken by that news this morning, and they need to know that we all stand with them and are grieving with them through this unbelievably difficult time. So thank you all for sending your thoughts and prayers their ways. I also want to say thank you to all of you for being here, all of you for stepping up, but mostly thank you to our amazing team of regional candidates who've come out today. We got Lloyd, we got Brian, we got Valerie, we got Tim, we got Bardish, and we got Melanie. And quite frankly, it is a beautiful day, but we can feel, I don't know, it's not just a beautiful day. The sun is out, and there's an energy, and there's an excitement, and there's a positivity that we're seeing, not just here. I've been further south of here. You can see it. I'm feeling it and hearing it from across the country. People understand that we're coming through this difficult year and a half, and we are going to make it through together. A year and a half, 6 years ago, we got elected on a very straightforward promise: to have Canadians' backs, to work hard for the middle class and people working hard to join it. Over those past 6 years, we did exactly that. First thing we did, raise taxes on the wealthiest 1% so we could cut them for the middle class. Lifted hundreds of thousands of kids out of poverty with the Canada Child Benefit. Created jobs and growth while fighting climate change with the most ambitious plan Canada has ever seen. That's us keeping our promises. But those values of being there for each other, being focused on each other, were really put to the test, not just for a government, but for all Canadians over the past 18 months. As we were hit by this pandemic, and we saw it from coast to coast to coast, Canadians stepped up for each other. We were there for each other. Little kids being there to help their parents with the homework and doing with the dishes, doing their homework by the kitchen table, doing more dishes. We were making sure that we were clapping our hands and applauding our frontline health workers who were working exhausting hours to fight this unknown pandemic by keeping all their worries inside as they worried about their kids and bringing COVID home. Grocery store clerks, taxi drivers and truck drivers, the people who are out there making sure that our society can continue to run while Canadians hunkered down, while we thought about each other and stood up for each other. And that's exactly what we chose to do as a government. We delivered the CERB so people could continue to put food on their table even while they had to cease work. We delivered the wage subsidy and small business loans to keep our economy solid, even if it was paused. And we delivered enough vaccines to vaccinate every eligible Canadian months ahead of schedule. And even as right now we're facing a big choice, we know that in order to build back a better and stronger future for Canadians, in order to fight climate change even stronger, to counter the vulnerabilities we saw during COVID for families, for communities, we need to finish with this pandemic once and for all, and that means vaccines. Because nothing else can happen. So the Conservative leader can try and talk about economic growth all he wants. The fact is, unless we are ending COVID as quickly as possible, we can't get to building back better. We can't get to fully restoring life as normal. And that's why it's so inexplicable that he continues, even after Jason Kenney and Scott Moe have now turned and said, okay, yes, maybe we need to push harder on vaccinations. Mr. O'Toole still can't and won't. Every single medical expert, epidemiologist, scientist, expert, doctor across the country and around the world say the same thing. Getting vaccinated is the way we get through this pandemic and back to normal as quickly as possible. And you know what? Canadians listened. Canadians are now among the very most vaccinated people on the planet because we got the vaccines and then we took them. And that's why we've actually recovered about 95% of the jobs lost during the pandemic, and for context, the U.S. has only recovered about 76%. It's because Canadians across the country stepped up. And I am here to tell you that I stand with you, the almost 80% of Canadians who did do the right thing and who are eager to make sure we get back to the things we love to do as quickly as possible, to make sure we're protecting our kids who can't yet get vaccinated, make sure we're holding off any threat of further lockdowns or shutdowns, and make sure we are building our economy back as quickly and as strongly as we possibly can. That's what we're going to do. But Mr. O'Toole is showing the weakest kind of leadership imaginable on this important issue. He won't even demand that his own candidates get vaccinated. He wants to lead the country. He can't even lead his candidates to get vaccinated. Why? Why is he insistent that travelers shouldn't have to get vaccinated the way we're saying on planes and trains? Why? Because he's decided that he wants to have a big tent Conservative Party that makes room for anti-vaxxers, that makes room for climate deniers, that makes room for people who stand against a woman's right to choose. Shame on you, Mr. O'Toole. That's not the kind of leadership that Canada needs. So on vaccines, the choice is clear, but not just on vaccines. Pour les familles aussi, on va continuer d'être là pour investir, pour appuyer les gens avec l'allocation canadienne aux enfants, mais aussi avec des garderies à 10 $ à travers le pays. We need $10 a day childcare right across the country. And there's another example of the fact that even though Mr. O'Toole likes to talk about the economy, he doesn't understand how to help the economy. He doesn't understand that vaccinations will help us bounce back faster. He doesn't understand that childcare isn't just about creating opportunities for kids to start school in the best possible way. Isn't just about giving choices and opportunities for women and families to have the support they need while their kids are young. It's also about making sure that those women can rejoin the workforce when they want to and grow our economy that way. You can't grow back an economy strongly for the future without making sure that everyone has a chance to participate rather than leaving 50% of Canadians on the side of the road. That's where he's wrong. That's where the choice we're making is so important. Similar on housing. We're hearing it right across the country. Challenges on housing. Housing crisis. Well, we have a concrete plan that's going to do three things. Put more money in the pockets of young families, saving up faster for their down payment, investing $4 billion so that municipalities create more spaces, more homes over the coming years, and we're going to stand up to defend home buyers' rights against practices like blind bidding or foreign investors or house flipping that are driving up prices. Mr. O'Toole's got a housing plan too. His plan is to give $500 million of tax breaks to wealthy landlords to help them sell their buildings. Has he spent any time talking to Canadians about the needs that people are facing in owning a home, in buying a home and moving forward? His answer is to give breaks to the rich? Well, we know the Conservatives have always believed in trickle down, and that's yet another example that if you give money and tax advantages to people at the top, it'll eventually trickle down to everyone else. Except that it never does, it never has, it never will. We need instead to be there to invest in the middle class and people working hard to join it. And the fourth example of where Mr. O'Toole simply doesn't understand how to grow a strong economy with good jobs is his continued lack of leadership on the fight against climate change. He wants to bring us back to Stephen Harper's targets. Targets we've already surpassed both in our targets and in our plan to achieve those targets. We are on track to blowing past Stephen Harper's targets, and we need to go even further and even faster, and he wants to bring us back. Why? Because he is consistently in the pocket of special interest groups, from the oil lobby to the anti-vax movers, to the gun lobby, to anti-choice special interests. He's not choosing to stand up for you. He's choosing to stand up for them. And that is the wrong choice. The only way to build a strong economy with good jobs and careers for the future is to fight climate change at the same time. And everybody here knows that. So the choice couldn't be clearer come Monday. We cannot have Erin O'Toole take Canada back when we know we need to move Canada forward for everyone. But that also brings us to this moment in the election campaign when progressives across the country are finding themselves having to make a choice. And this comes up every cycle, where they say to themselves, okay, it's really important that we stop the Conservatives on the one hand. And we know the Liberal Party is the only party that can stop the Conservatives and form a progressive government. But at the same time, progressives want to vote for the best plan to fight climate change, want to vote for the best plan to support families, the best plan to defend workers' rights and support jobs. And that's legitimate, and that's where they scratch their heads and they look at, okay, maybe the NDP has the best plan, maybe it's the Conservatives, maybe it's the Liberals, maybe it's the Greens. And all I'll have to say, and all I ask of those progressive voters who are having that reflection, know that in this election, the on the one hand or on the other hand is actually the same. The Liberal Party is the only party that can prevent O'Toole from becoming Prime Minister, and the Liberal Party is the party with the best plan to fight climate change, to support families, and to build a stronger future. Because, and just to take climate change, which I know is something near and dear to all of us, not just for right now, not just for the future well-being of our kids and grandkids, but for the future jobs and prosperity of our communities and our country, we know we need to make this transformation of our economy towards more innovation, greener, better technologies. Well, we actually need to lean on experts and science who keep telling us things like we have to hold to 1.5 degrees around the world. We have to hit massive targets and get to net zero. We have to move forward on zero-emission vehicles as quick as possible. All these things that the experts say, we listened. The Liberal Party listened to experts, built up on our ambition, build up on our solutions. And we have put forward, and not just according to me, but according to the top experts across the country, including former BC Green Party leader Andrew Weaver, including Mark Jacquard, Jennifer Winters, including Andrew Leach, including a range of some of the top economic and environmental thinkers in the country, the best plan by far in its ambition and its ability to deliver, no question, is the Liberal plan. And folks of you at home, don't take my word for it. Go check what these experts are saying. Take a look at our platform on the issues that matter. Contrast with the platforms of the NDP or the Green Party, and you will see that the choice we get to make in this election to elect an extraordinary team of amazing Liberals from every corner of the country to come together in a strong, ambitious government to deliver a better future as we get through this pandemic, as we build better for generations to come, is the choice to move forward for everyone. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you all. And now let's come say hi. How's that?